Your service is excellent, your positioning is solid, so why on earth are your sales calls absolutely flooded with tire kickers who want your premium expertise for half the price? If you want steady, right-fit clients without turning into a full-time content zombie, keep watching, because your business isn't the problem, your system is. Hi, I'm Vicky Sidler and I build failure-proof marketing systems for a living. And here is the uncomfortable truth. Most service providers treat a wrong client problem exactly like a sales problem, meaning they spend a small fortune trying to fix it at the completely wrong end of the pipeline. Because, listen to me, the leads showing up on your calendar are not random. They are the exact logical result of what your words promise them. Take one of my recent clients, a brilliant strategic consultant whose website was so aggressively generic, it could have been legally trademarked by literally any consultant in town. Because her homepage spoke in completely vague abstractions, absolutely everyone on the planet thought it was meant for them, which meant her calendar instantly filled up with people outside of her niche, people utterly confused about what she actually did, and people whose opening gambit was to haggle her prices down. Why? Because her message never anchored the exact problem or the stakes. So they just defaulted to comparing her on price like she was a used car. Her calendar filled up, but her revenue didn't. Now, understand this clearly. None of this was happening because her service was weak. It's because of a massive industry-wide misunderstanding about how words actually work. Here is the quiet, devastating assumption that breaks almost every marketing effort. Most founders believe that once they finally pick a niche, their messaging is basically done, which is absolutely false. Positioning is the strategic decision of who you serve and what problem you solve. But messaging is the actual concrete words on your website that make that decision recognizable to the right person. Think of it this way. Positioning chooses the destination, but messaging is the map. And if you fuzz the map, your marketing channels will just aggressively amplify the wrong signal. Let me give you a real example from one of my clients who owns a luxury villa. It was a premium offer with premium positioning, yet the copy on his website didn't differentiate his property from any of the other available options because it just listed generic features with zero words that would resonate with his ideal audience. So we completely rewrote his page using human-crafted StoryBrand style messaging. And within a month, he was waking up to qualified inquiries every single morning, meaning he actually reduced his ad spend because he didn't need to pay for cheap volume anymore. So better words, fewer ads, and more right-fit buyers, which is the dream, isn't it? And that brings us to the thing that nobody in the messaging world wants to admit out loud. But before we get into that, if you aren't sure exactly where your system is breaking down, I built something for this exact moment. Take my failure-proof marketing test. It asks a few simple questions and pinpoints the weak spots keeping you stuck. Pause this video and go to strategicmarketingtribe.com/test or grab the link in the description below. And that brings us to why StoryBrand isn't enough. The single most dangerous thing about a powerful framework is that it tricks you into feeling that you've solved the whole problem, when really you've only solved a tiny fraction of it. I am a StoryBrand certified guide, and I use this framework every single week. But I need to be brutally honest with you. StoryBrand is incredibly powerful, but it is not the entire system. The book certainly makes it feel like fix the words and they will come. And if the rest of your business is perfectly healthy, that might be true. But if your core offer is messy or your platforms are wrong, the most structurally perfect StoryBrand message in the universe will not save you. Messaging simply amplifies what is already there. it cannot magically fix a broken business model. Think of it like putting premium racing fuel into a car with a shattered transmission. The fuel is amazing, but you still aren't going anywhere. Marketing works the exact same way, because beautiful messaging layered on top of a misaligned offer is just a much more expensive version of the exact same problem. Messaging has to sit inside a larger system because it cannot survive on an island by itself. Okay, so what does that system actually look like, and how do you fix it? Most marketing gurus tell you to just be clearer, which is the exact equivalent of a doctor telling you to just be healthier. It's technically true, but completely useless advice. If you want to actually filter your leads, you need 3 very basic fixes. Fix number 1. Be violently clear about who it's for by moving away from broad, lazy categories. Saying you help small business owners is like a doctor saying they treat mammals. It is technically true, but if my arm is broken, I'm not going to the guy who just finished operating on a hamster. So instead, say service-based founders stuck at a revenue plateau. Because if a total stranger can't immediately know if your service is for them, your words are failing you. Fix number 2. Name the problem in your client's actual language instead of guessing. Stop using lazy corporate jargon like synergistic operational workflows. Nobody wakes up in a cold sweat at 3 a.m. worrying about their workflows. In my marketing, I use the exact words my clients use when they come to me. Like, marketing is taking up too much of my time, or I'm struggling to get the leads I need. Ground your message in the exact moment they realize they need help. Okay, fix number 3. Give them a clear outcome and a plan instead of promising vague nonsense like, you'll feel confidence. Promise a concrete behavior-based outcome. So if I tell you, I'll handle your SEO, you might panic because it sounds like a black hole for your money. But if I show you my exact failure-proof roadmap, which is step 1, we book a coffee chat, step 2, we build your custom strategy, and step 3, you enjoy steady, calm growth, you immediately calm down. When people see exactly where they are and where they are going and how you're going to get them there, they stop asking, how much does this cost? And start asking, when can we start? To prove this, my team and I ran a head-to-head test building 2 StoryBrand style landing pages. One was written by me and one was cranked out by StoryBrand's own AI tool. The AI version looked structurally flawless, yet it produced absolutely 0 conversions over the entire life of the test, while the human written version doubled the engagement and converted very well. The difference wasn't the framework, it was the human language pulled from real sales calls, which you cannot get from an AI template. You only get it from actually listening to your clients. Okay, now I want you to do your own messaging audit, because this is the single most expensive mistake that you can make. Building a gorgeous 5-figure website wrapped around fuzzy, meaningless words. So I want you to pull up your homepage right now and ask yourself these 4 questions. Go ahead, I'll wait.
A few moments later.
Okay, question 1. Can a specific person recognize themselves in your opening line, or is it written for everyone? Number 2, is the main problem described in concrete terms, or is it just corporate jargon? Number 3, is there a tangible outcome and plan? And number 4, would the wrong client feel comfortable contacting you, or would they automatically self-select out? Now that last question is the one almost everyone skips, because good messaging doesn't just attract the right people, it actively, purposefully repels the wrong ones. And that is not an accident, that is the entire goal. If your honest answer to any of those questions is, not really, then you don't have a website problem, you have a messaging problem. And it is completely fixable before you spend another $1. Now, messaging isn't the final step. It's the hinge that determines whether everything else you're investing in actually works. Get your messaging right, and your website, your content, and your ads will finally start pulling in the exact same direction. Okay, but now you're probably wondering why your marketing still feels broken, even when you're doing all the things you're supposed to be doing. So click the video on the screen and I'll show you why right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you there.